Hello students. In this video, we will learn how to solve the question number 30 of chapter 4 to calculate national income. But before solving this question, I would like to tell you something about this particular component which will be used in this question, that is gross domestic capital formation. If gross domestic capital formation is given directly in the question, then in expenditure method, we use it. We know that in expenditure method, GDP-MP equal to private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net exports. But here we are not given anywhere gross domestic capital formation. So if we are not given it in this given form, then how to find it out or how to know about its components? Broadly, it has two components, and generally this gross domestic capital formation means investment. And as you know, investment is of two types. One is fixed investment and one is inventory investment. So this also has two parts. One of them is called gross domestic fixed capital formation. That means fixed investment. Fixed investment means investment on machinery, on plant, on roads, infrastructure, etc. And plus inventory investment. Inventory investment means unsold stock of the current year, which is produced but not sold. That is also the production of the current year. So these two things together constitute gross domestic capital formation or overall investment. So if we are given gross domestic fixed capital formation, when we add inventory investment to that, we get gross domestic capital formation. But sometimes we are even not given this component in single form, gross domestic fixed capital formation. It can further be divided into its components, and in some question, it might be possible that we are given the subcomponents of even gross domestic fixed capital formation. Then, how to locate the components or find the components? So, then generally, it has three components, although it has more than three, but generally, in the question solving, in solving question, we need to know about three. What these three are: fixed capital investment is done by the firms, by the households, and by the government. What firms do? Firms invest on fixed investment, and that is called gross business fixed investment. Business means by the firms. So fixed investment by the business or by the firms is named as gross domestic business, sorry, not domestic, but it's not necessary, or we can use it also, gross domestic business fixed investment. Or we can simply write gross business fixed investment. We can use domestic word or we can not use, that is not necessary to be written. Okay, gross business fixed investment. This is the fixed investment by the firms. Then government also makes fixed investment. That is investment on the roads or infrastructure, laying of railway tracks or laying of highways or bridges, etc. That is the fixed investment by the government, and that is called by the name gross public investment. You can see it here. Then third, individuals or households may also have fixed investment, and that is the investment of households on construction of residential houses, and that is named as gross residential construction investment. Gross residential construction investment. Although we had discussed about this in the class, but here as a revision we are doing to solve question number 30. So if we are given these three things, so when we add them together, then we get gross domestic fixed capital formation. We don't get gross domestic capital formation. We get gross domestic fixed capital formation because these are the components of fixed capital. Only when we add inventory investment to it, then we get gross domestic capital formation. All right. So in this way, we will add one, two, three, and then four. If four things are given like this, to get gross domestic capital formation or overall investment in the economy. That's it. So this will be used now when I solve question number 30. So you may note it down also, and then now we will do the sum. Students, now we will solve this question number 30 by expenditure method. First, we will write which aggregates we have to find. We have to find NDPMT and NNPFC. So I'll write this NDPMT equal to question mark and NPFC equal to question mark. In expenditure method, we use the formula, and for the formula, we use a particular aggregate of income, that is GDP at market price. And its formula is, I will write in short form, you have to write in detail. I'm dictating it here. A first term is private final consumption expenditure. In abbreviation, I have written as PSCE. Then second is government final consumption expenditure. Then gross domestic capital formation. Then net exports, or we can write exports minus imports, because we are given exports and imports separately. Now we have to find the values from these particulars given here. Private final consumption expenditure is not given by this name, but it's given by another name, that is personal consumption expenditure. Both mean the same thing. And so I will put this first item here. Then government final consumption expenditure, we are given government purchases of goods and services. Consumption expenditure is the purchase by the government on goods and services, not the investment by the government. It means the expenditure by the government on goods and services, like on purchasing food grains for ration shops, or purchasing uniform for the army personnel, or any other kind of services. This is called government final consumption expenditure. That is seventh one. So for that, I'll add seventh item. Then gross domestic capital formation. As we have discussed just a few minutes back, that if we are not given this in this way as GDCF, we have to find its components. Its two general components are gross domestic fixed capital formation plus inventory investment. But we are also not given anywhere gross domestic fixed capital formation. On the other hand, we are given the parts of it or sub components of it. Gross business fixed investment, gross public investment, and gross residential construction investment. This is the fixed investment by the businesses or by the firms. This is fixed investment by the households, and this is fixed investment by the government. So this together will constitute gross domestic fixed capital formation. But we don't know fixed capital. We know we need overall investment. So that will be fixed capital plus inventory investment. So these four will be added to get this gross domestic capital formation. First, I add fourth one, gross business fixed investment. Then I add sixth one, gross residential construction investment. Then I add eighth one, gross public investment or investment by the government on fixed assets. So all these are fixed. To find the complete capital formation or overall capital formation, I need to add inventory also. That is given in the 10th item, plus inventory investment. Now exports minus imports. Exports is given in 11th number and imports as 13th one. That's it. Now we will put the values. First is 610. Seventh is 95. You can check yourself. Fourth is 180. Sixth is 120. Eighth, that is gross public investment, is 60. Plus 10, that is inventory, is 55. Plus 11, that is exports, is 50. Minus 13th, that is imports, is 60. Okay, I have to add these now. 610 plus 95 is 705. 180 plus 120 is 300. 60 plus 55 is 115. And 50 minus 60 is minus 10. Then 705 plus 300 is 1005. 115 minus 10 is 105. Adding these, we get 1110 crore rupees. 1110 crore rupees. That is GDP and P by expenditure method. But what we require in the question? We require NDP MP and NNP FC. So A is NDP MP. With the help of GDP MP, I'll calculate NDP MP. I have already calculated GDP MP, so I will write that on the right hand side like this. Now, gross to net. Gross includes depreciation, net doesn't include. So, minus depreciation. Am I given depreciation? Yes, I am given. Minus that. Okay. GDP MP is 1110, DEP is 40. That is equal to rupees 1070 crores. That is the answer. Fine. So in this we have calculated NDP MP with the help of GDP MP. Now we need to find NNPFC. NNPFC. To find it, either I can use NDP MP or I can use GDP MP. Both are net net. So I would prefer to take this one, although you can take any one of these two. NDP MP. Net net, no change. Domestic to national, will add NFI. Are we given? Yes, we are given. I'm simply writing 14th number. NFI from abroad. Uh, Market to factor. Market includes indirect taxes. Factor cost doesn't include. We will subtract NIT or net indirect taxes. But we are given indirect taxes and subsidies separately. So first I will think about indirect taxes. Market includes indirect taxes, factor does not. I will subtract indirect taxes or 18th item. And whatever we do, sign we use for taxes, we use the opposite sign for subsidies. Plus subsidies. 17th one. Now we'll put the values. NDP MP is equal to 1070. 14th is NFI is minus 5, so plus minus minus. Then minus indirect taxes. Indirect taxes is 90. Then 17 subsidies, that is 10. Let me drag it a little bit. Yes, it is 10. So 1070 minus 5, 1065. Minus 90 plus 10, different sign subtraction, 80, sign of the larger number. 90 is large, it is minus, so minus 80. 65 and 15 is the difference, so 985 crore rupees. This is NNP at factor cost, and this is the correct answer. So in this way, we have been able to find both the aggregates with the help of expenditure method. I hope you have understood this. In the next video, we will take up the income method to solve the same question.